Hello, friends, both old and new. I am John St. Baptiste, and this is Music Makes the People Come Together, where we share amazing and eclectic music with amazing and eclectic people, much like yourselves. So, this morning I uploaded the teaser for this week's playlist. Teaser is always the theme. You can always find it down below in the description. Just like right now, you can find this week's playlist down below in the description. And the track is It's Alright by the Traveling Wilburys. Traveling Wilburys were a supergroup formed in the late 1980s by Tom Petty from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, George Harrison from the Beatles, Jeff Lynne from ELO, and Roy Orbison and Bob Dylan, who need no introduction. This track is a song about being okay with where you are in your life, which, given some things in John's personal life, I am very all about this week. And it's also by a band called the Traveling Wilburys. I included the official video, which 30 years later still sends chills up my spine because it was made posthumously after Roy Orbison's death. And while he's singing, they have a rocking chair with his guitar sitting on it, rocking back and forth. Oh, it chills up the spine. It's so amazing. Really excellent. Really fun to watch. It's a great track, which gets to this week's theme, which is traveling and things that travel. Might seem a little esoteric, but I wanted to do something slightly different with the theme of the week and make it a little less based on certain feelings. Speaking of music, if you have anything to share with me, please leave it in the comment section down below. Just like you can find this playlist in the description down below. All about the down below. So, that being said, that's the theme of the week. Now, on to the proper playlists. If you're new to the channel, I have different playlists that I add music to every week, but I also have a playlist for the week. The playlist for the week defines what I've added to those playlists, but go check those playlists out because there's some wonderful stuff there. So, the Better to Be Happy mix. New track for this week is the remix of 99 Red Balloons by Jimmy J. I think this is such a fun track. One of my favorite DJs, DJ Spree from Minneapolis. I believe Minneapolis. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive, but I think he's from Minneapolis. He starts off one of my favorite sets I've ever heard with this track, and it's fun. It's so unbelievably fun. Also, there's a bit of history behind the song. The way it ties into traveling is that balloons travel, and literally the song was written about balloons being released at a concert in Berlin. The original version, not this cover version, but the original version, about balloons being released at this concert in Berlin, and if they went over the wall and they went from this was during the Cold War, the west to the east. If they entered the Soviet, it was really this whole just unbelievable anti-war message. I think what Jimmy J did with it was just make it a really fun song to listen to, but you have to think about the history behind the recording. Moving on, The opera for this week. Oh, I am so excited about this one. It's a recording from 1977, which happens to be the year I was born. Got a birthday coming up. Do the math, you can figure out my actual age. I'd like to think I don't look it. I get told I don't look it, but I think people are lying. Anyway, it is Tornado by Giacomo Puccini, and the libretto is by Rentano Sioni and Giuseppe Adami. Interesting thing about this piece, Puccini did not finish it while he was still alive. He left notes, and his very good friend Franco Alfano actually finished it and actually did the finishing parts for the actual opera. Now, the way this ties into traveling, it's originally a 12th century Persian story that was modified into a 20th century opera. It's all about traveling because you have the Princess of China. Originally in the story it was the Princess of Russia, but the Princess of China, and she won't marry anybody. And Caliph, by the way, her name was Turandot. That's why the opera's named Turandot. Caliph, who is from the Middle East, wants to come and marry her, and it's about all these ordeals and trials that he goes through to do so. What is so cool is that this recording, like I said, is from the year I was born. It has Franco Corelli, who is considered, during his life, this man was called the Prince of Tenors. And he plays Caliph, and this is an unbelievable recording. It is in black and white. I hope for my younger viewers that doesn't throw them off too terribly much. But it's the BBC production with Franco Corelli. This is good. And once again, like I try and do as often as I possibly can, it has subtitles so you can follow it if you don't understand Italian, which a lot of people don't. Interesting fact, if you ever took Latin, Spanish is more similar to Italian, or to Latin, than Italian is. Think about who ran the Roman Empire for a good 700 years. But please check it out. It's a great opera. It's amazing. Yes, it is in black and white, but I'm sure you can forget that after about 5 minutes. It's lots of fun. Full track for this week. One of my favorite albums of all time. Absolute favorite albums of all time. Johnny Cash, live at Folsom Prison, 1968. Oh, the original Man in Black. I love this guy. This is... Oh, it's so great. You can hear what it sounded like when he was performing, which a lot of people never got to hear. I never got to hear it. I never got to see him live. I've heard live recordings of him, such as the one that I'm putting up for you, but I never got to see him live, and it's one of the things that I regret in my life. So, if you've seen the film, you know that it starts out with him in the workshop at Folsom Prison right before he plays this show. The film is called Walk the Line. Great movie. Yukon Phoenix, Reese Witherspoon, I think. It's a wonderful movie. But what's so awesome is it's such a great live recording. Interesting piece of John trivia. I actually got into a car accident listening to this. And there's a little part of me that still thinks of this song when makes me think of this album. Makes me think of the car accident whenever I listen to this album. But I like this album so well that I still will listen to it. I was in a car that flipped over. It did this. Hit the curb. Bow, bow, flipped over. One of the most terrifying moments of my life. Part of the reason I believe in a higher power. But anyway, unbelievable album. And I hope you enjoy it. I put it up here on its entirety. And I mean, this was the song that kind of made him take off. And it's about Folsom Prison, and he's playing at Folsom Prison. How cool is that? Going on, the cover that kicks ass for this week. So I need a little help here. If anybody knows a little more than I do, there's this album called Zeppelin Grass, and it is a bluegrass tribute to Led Zeppelin. I had it, I loaned it to a friend, it kind of disappeared because that happens a lot when you loan things to friends. They just puff off into the ether. But it is a bluegrass cover from the album Zeppelin Grass. I am not sure of the actual artists who did it. I tried my butt off to research this. I normally research about 15 to 20 minutes, 15 to 20 hours every week to put up these videos. And I probably spent another 4 trying to figure out who did this recording. But It's Going to California by Led Zeppelin is a bluegrass cover. It's off the album Zeppelin Grass. If anybody knows the actual artists who did it, please put it in the comments section down below because I would really like to know. If you have any other music to share with me, put it in the comments section down below. Also, speaking of down below, this entire mix is in the description. I think I said that before, but if I didn't, I'm saying it again. Anyway, Going to California by Led Zeppelin, which is one of my favorite Zeppelin songs in the first place. And this bluegrass cover, if you can keep a secret, I almost like it more than the original. That's between us, okay? Amazing cover. Past that, like I said, the theme is traveling, and what travels faster than a race car? So, whose house? John's house. Track for this week is the hardcore mix of Speed Racer by Alpha Team. If you have never heard this, you need to. The cutaway and the build-up are just so freaking awesome. If this doesn't make you want to move, nothing will. Or you're like Steve Hawking and you can't. Sorry, that might have offended some people. I should have trigger warned that, but anyway, it's awesome. And the cutaway and the build-up are just great, and this is such a terribly fun track. One of my favorite house songs of all time. I have a mix I like more, but I cannot find it, like, straight off of YouTube. So this is the one I like next best. Well, I believe I said that correctly. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. So, speaking of enjoying, if you did enjoy this video, like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel because I'm all about sharing music with you, and please, hopefully, you sharing music with me. If you do subscribe, there's a notification bell right over there. Hit it. That way you will get notified whenever I upload new content, which is usually teaser Sunday morning, video Sunday night. Trivia. So last week's piece of trivia, I have a line that I always exit my videos with, and I wanted to know if anybody knew where it came from. I only get answers from Mandolin523 and Papa Tab01. And Mandolin523 answered it this week. Please, if anybody else knows, give it to me. Come on, put these people on their toes. I mean, yes, we Midwesterners are pretty awesome in some ways, but put them on their toes. So, last week's question was, my sign-off line, where did it come from? The answer is it comes from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and it was said by Abraham Lincoln. I will be saying it within a minute. So, Mandolin523 got the smooch for the week. If you would like the smooch for the week, then please answer this question. And this is a pretty easy one. So, I would like to hope that I get a good answer pretty quick and soon. The founding members of Led Zeppelin, the majority of them were from a certain band. What was that band? What were their names? If you can give me that answer, smooch for the week. I don't really smooch people, so I would hope that you would enjoy that. I would hope you would feel special having it. Anyway, I'm getting ready to get off here. I would like to thank you all for coming by to see me. I super want to thank, I do this all the time. If you put me on your content, I put you on mine. I want to thank Azora Hype, Indeep Geek, AU Pack Mule, Raw Wrist, and Laura's Corner. By the way, Laura's Corner, check it out. Laura Cullen, she's an amazing poet. If you check out my video of me reading her work, she said she was pretty impressed with it. So I guess that means I speak pretty well. Anyway, thank all of you. Thank all of you who came by. Thank all of you who subscribe. If you're new here, thank you for being new. If you're new and you decide to subscribe, thank you so much for taking that extra step. In the meantime, please be excellent to one another. And party on!